What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 16. Top DFS picks.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for this week's NFL slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, NFL Week 16. Let's take a look at the quarterback position. So my top DFS pick at the quarterback position is Kirk Cousins from the Minnesota Vikings, playing the New York Giants, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall. They're middle-of-the-pack defending opposing quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins has averaged 19.2 fantasy points per game on the season. He gets an average of 1.9 rush attempts per game. He's projected at 18 fantasy points here in Week 16. He's 6,300 DraftKings salary, 1,400 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 47.5 points scored in this game, with the Vikings favored by 3.5. So Kirk Cousins has scored 37, 28, and 12 fantasy points in the last 3 games. He got 2, 0, and 3 rush attempts in those games. He's got a middle-of-the-pack matchup here, but he's coming off of 2 hot games. He's been on fire. So I like Kirk Cousins here versus the New York Giants. Now I also like Geno Smith from the Seattle Seahawks. He's got a great matchup playing the Kansas City Chiefs, and he's got a couple of great wide receivers you can stack as well. Vegas thinks that the Seattle Seahawks are going to be trailing by 9 in this game, so it could be a passing game script in a high-scoring game and a good matchup, and he's only 5,800 DraftKings salary, so I also like Geno Smith here versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, let's take a look at the running back position. Although it's a tough call here this week, a lot of running backs in good spots. My top running back for NFL Week 16 is Saquon Barkley from the New York Giants, playing the Minnesota Vikings, who have the second worst defense overall. They're middle of the pack defending opposing running backs. Saquon Barkley has averaged 18.7 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 19.2 rush attempts per game and 4.4 pass targets per game. So lots of volume for Saquon Barkley. He had 26 touches last week, and he's projected at 14.7 fantasy points here in Week 16. I'm going to bump that up to 17 fantasy points. I think he can score close to, if not over, his season average. He's 7,900 DraftKings salary, 600 more on FanDuel. So I like that price on both sites. Saquon Barkley has scored 23, 7, and 19 fantasy points in the last 3 games off of 18, 9, and 18 rush attempts on top of 8, 2, and 5 pass targets. So I like Saquon Barkley here versus the Minnesota Vikings. Now I also like Derrick Henry, who's got a great matchup versus the Houston Texans, and Dalvin Cook, who's got a good matchup versus the Giants. And I also like Alvin Kamara. Even though his production has been down quite a bit, he's got a good matchup versus the Cleveland Browns, and I think he's due for a breakout game. So a lot of good running backs on the slate this week.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal,
all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
and we'll send you $25 PayPal.
So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Okay, let's take a look at the wide receiver position. My top DFS pick at the wide receiver position is Tyler Lockett from the Seattle Seahawks, playing the Kansas City Chiefs, who have the 9th worst defense overall. They give up the 6th most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. Tyler Lockett has averaged 16.4 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 7.7 pass targets per game. He's been on the field for 82% of the snaps. Gonna be projected at 14.2 fantasy points here this week. He's $6,800 DraftKings salary, $800 less on FanDuel. So I love that FanDuel price, way underpriced on FanDuel. And Vegas thinks there's going to be 49 points scored in this game, with the Seahawks trailing by 9. So you got a high scoring game and a passing game script, a fantastic matchup. And Tyler Lockett has scored 14, 17, and 31 fantasy points in the last 3 games off of 9, 9, and 12 pass targets. So I like Tyler Lockett here versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, of course, I also like DK Metcalf. It's pretty much a coin flip between Lockett and Metcalf, although on FanDuel, I would absolutely play Tyler Lockett, who's way underpriced here. So I like DK Metcalf as well. And I also like Devonta Smith, who's just been on absolute fire the past 3 weeks, scoring 21, 17, and 24 fantasy points in the last 3 weeks. He got 8 pass targets in each of those games, so I like Devonta Smith as well. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all the tools for NFL. NBA is right around the corner. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, moving on to the tight end position. So my top DFS pick at the tight end position. Now, this pick is only valid if Lamar Jackson plays. So if Lamar Jackson is back for week 16, my top DFS pick at the tight end position is Mark Andrews from the Baltimore Ravens, playing the Atlanta Falcons, who have the 3rd worst defense overall. They give up the 4th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. Mark Andrews has averaged 13.1 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 7.6 pass targets per game. He's been on the field for 82% of the snaps, projected at 12.4 fantasy points here in week 16. He's $5,500 DraftKings salary, $900 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 37.5 points scored in this game, with the Ravens favored by 7.5. Now, Mark Andrews has only scored 6, 4, and 9 fantasy points in the last 3 games off of 7, 6, and 7 pass targets. But if Lamar Jackson is back in week 16, I think his price tag makes a ton of sense. with a fantastic matchup coming off of 3 bad games. I think he can put up a lot of fantasy points if Lamar Jackson is back and surprise some people. So I like Mark Andrews here versus the Atlanta Falcons. Now I also like Travis Kelce, who's been on fire this season. He's got a fantastic matchup against the Seattle Seahawks. And TJ Hawkinson is looking pretty good for the Minnesota Vikings playing the New York Giants. TJ Hawkinson has got 9, 8, and 6 pass targets in the last 3 games. So he's getting a lot of volume. So I also like TJ Hawkinson.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.